morning. Happy New Year, I guess. It's New Year's Day today, and I have decided to not get up early, just get up and go for a little wander. It started off quite nice and sunny when I was driving out here, and now it's starting to cloud over. I hear we've got more rain on the way. A lot of the rivers are swelling at the moment, and some of the fields are flooded. But I thought I'd get out, just have a little wander, see if I can see anything. I'm just walking through from Bramshaw Telegraph Corner. It's quite local to me, quite nice and easy to get out. If I haven't got any place in mind, it's a good place to start. And I'm just mainly out here for a walk more than anything. I bought the camera. At the moment I'm just walking through the forest. I see a little bit of wildlife here and there, you can hear the birds. There's a beautiful white horse through there somewhere. And you've got some really old trees here as well. You look, I've just walked past a few back there. There's a lovely one leaning over there with loads of shoots going up. But there's an old one just in front of me here. You look at that. It's a shame there's a lot of holly around it, but that's a lovely old tree there. So yeah, anyway, I'm just having a little wander, see what I can see. If it's worth photographing, I'll photograph it. If it's not, I just get a walk out of it. Not every day is a photo day. I think you all know that, don't you? But I'm just happy to be out. Happy to be out. Wow, I think I found an absolute gem here. Look at this. See if I can get a little bit lower. So what you're looking at, see this tree? It's fallen over, but it's still alive. It's still alive, and it has been for quite some time. And I'll tell you how I know that. As we come down to the root system, you can see it's still rooted into the ground. Some of the roots have changed direction and gone down. But the best indicator is that first shoot that's coming out there. It's turned into a full-on tree. That is absolutely amazing. How cool is that? Let's go and have a look at the roots. And it's these sorts of trees that interest me when it comes to photography, because it's the story. It's fallen over, I don't know, maybe 100 years ago. I don't know how old that is. But judging by that tree that's coming out at the very end there, I'm assuming that's got to be 100 years or so, or just under. But yeah, look at the root system. Just immediately it's gone over. All the roots have just headed back down again. And then when you look along it, you get all these branches just suddenly turn into new trees. And they've gone up to reach for the light so that they can get their leaves in that sunshine. That is amazing. even branches changing direction. So if you imagine this being upright, all the branches would be shooting that way, and you would have thought there would have been a bit of lean to shoot up as well. But check out this branch. This one here has just changed direction altogether, and now it's going back down towards the roots, and it's looking for light that way. You could say it's quite devious, because if it could grow further that way, it's able to get more light in that direction. So it's almost growing into that open bit here, getting more light that way. But anyway, I'm going to have a little look around it, see if I can get any photos here. This looks really interesting. Now, I don't think this is an award-winning photo today, but if I put that one in the bank and then come back on a misty or frosty day, that could be a game changer, that one. So, yeah, fantastic little find. So, here's one of my shots. This one is just to get rid of the sky. I didn't want any sky in this shot, and I just wanted to see how much of a closed frame I could get. So basically narrowed in as much as I could, just to lose that sky on the very top. And yep, you can see the settings there down the bottom. And yeah, I've got a polarizer on there, because without it, let me just show you what happens. Just gonna see if I can lock you in there a bit so it doesn't move. So watch the ground. See that? Just gone white. And that's it without it. Yeah, okay, I probably would stop down with the shutter, but look at that. Just takes that glare off of that ground there. So not happy about the conditions, but happy that there is a shot there and I can come back and get that, and that's very local to me. So I'm very happy with that one, and I shall be coming back to get that, hopefully with some mist behind it. I really do think that worked. I might try the other way as well, because I think there's a bit more of a story when you can see the roots. It's just, that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to tell a story of what's happened here. A tree has fallen over. The roots are quite important. But equally as important is how long it's been there and it's alive, because it's had plenty of years to readjust and start growing out from the side of that main trunk and create 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 smaller trees. So very successful in my opinion. Anyway, I'm going to keep looking for another shot, and I might bring you back on. But until then, here's that picture I just took. See you in a bit. I've got myself right up in the twigs now. So I'm down by the root, and I've got the root in the shot. You can see my exposure's gone back down because I've got so much sky in the background. I was elevated slightly and looking back down the hill from the other side, so that's why I think that side works best. But yeah, with all that distracting light between the branches on the other side, it's going to be hard to keep your interest on that tree. Maybe the white mist might throw that all off, because mist is white, sky is white, doesn't really make a difference. It might help. But yeah, definitely a more interesting angle. But unfortunately the sky ruins it for me. So yeah, as you can see, my shutter speed is like a half a second. F11 RSA64. And the polarizer is still on, because obviously without it, look at that, look at the ground on that shot. And then it just cuts into it there. I suppose on a positive, there are horses walking around in the background. So if your eyes are distracted from the back, then maybe you'll drift up there. So yeah, there's that shot. I'll put it on the screen for you. I've gone back to shooting the most obvious in the New Forest, the horses. You've got a white one just under the tree over there. So I've changed out to the 70 to 200mm. I haven't got a lens cover on it or the polarizer. I did have the polarizer on it, but I found it wasn't helping me get that shutter speed I needed. And you had to keep adjusting if you tilt the camera to portrait and landscape. So couldn't be bothered with all that faff. Just going to keep this nice and simple. What I'm doing is I'm hoping this horse just takes the contours of the tree, the overhang, and I'm zooming in for that closed shot, and I'm hoping that the tree helps to frame the horse a little bit, give it a little bit of breathing space. And yeah, I'm kneeling down with the help of a kneeling mat. I do recommend one. They are quite useful, just to get low on the ground. You do help, well, it does help to soften the focus on the foliage in the foreground, going all the way back to the horse, which is your subject. So that needs to be tack sharp. The foreground can be out of focus as much as you like, and I like to use that to help frame it as well. So yeah, I'm just going to take a few shots here. Just going to wait for it to get in position. And that's what it is. It is just a waiting game. So I'm on 500 for my shutter speed. Now 1/500th of a second is fast enough for this sort of animal. Probably about 300 shutter speed upwards is what you need, just in case you get a bit of a head movement, but they are quite slow moving, so yeah, does make for a beautiful shot there. It really does. Wonderful creatures, especially the white ones. I really have this thing with the white ones. I'm controlling the shutter speed and the aperture, but I'm not controlling the ISO. I'm letting the camera deal with that. So in this case, I have to use the exposure compensation button just to dial in whether there's more light there or less light there. So plus adding to that means that the subject I'm taking a picture of is white, whereas if I was taking a picture of a black horse, I'd have to make it a negative exposure to bring down the light, because the camera tries to make things grey. The best way to explain that is if you shoot white, it will try to make it darker, make it grey. If you shoot black, it will try to make it lighter and make it grey. So yeah, you have to use your compensation. It works a little bit, in my head anyway, it works a little bit opposite to what you're thinking it should be working. So where it's trying to make it lighter, I'm trying to tell it no, it's darker. See what I mean? I think I know what I mean. But you might have to do a little bit more reading up on that. But if you want me to go into more detail on that, I will. But I'm hoping that explains it. If it doesn't, wind it back and play it again. So yeah, on this particular shot, I've got a shutter speed of 500. I've got an aperture of 5, and I've got auto ISO. Now that auto ISO, just so that you know where it is getting my camera to dial in. If I just take half an exposure, yeah, so I say 2500. That's my limit, I think. I've set on the auto ISO, so I won't let it go higher than that. You can set parameters in your camera to help tell the camera, no, absolutely do not let the camera go above ISO such and such, because I know it's going to be really bad. There's no point. So yeah, you can control it a little bit more that way. But yeah, that's what I've done. I set up the parameters on here. I have mentioned it in a previous video, but I'm not going to go through how to set it up. If you look it up on YouTube, you'll find it for your camera. Someone's probably talked you through it. But I'm not going to do that for the Nikon, because I know there's videos already out there. So anyway, I'm going to take a few more shots and put some up on the screen in front of you. So catch up in a little bit. Now remember, this is an animal. It needs space to breathe around it. If you are going to put it near to the edge of the frame, make sure its bum is near the end, the edge of the frame, not the head. And it just needs a lot of space to breathe, unless you're purposely going for like a headshot or something like that. I think she's moving forwards a little bit. I'm just waiting for her to just get between two trees. If in doubt, give it a bit more space than it actually needs, because you can always crop in. So I don't think that's an award-winning image, but it's an image nonetheless. And I think it's good practice, even if you don't use it or put it anywhere. It's quite good practice to just be able to swing from landscape to wildlife. I might do it quite a lot. The only difference is I don't have the longer lens with me. I usually take the landscape gear or the wildlife gear, one or the other. I think it can get a bit too confusing when you take too much gear out with you. So I'm going to pack that up, and I'm going to start heading back. I've had a really good time actually, even though I haven't really come very far. Look, dirty mat, doesn't matter, because when you fold it up, most of it is hidden inside it. So all I've got to do is, when I get home, just give it a wipe down. Get rid of the worst on the heather. Great little thing. Don't know what I'd do without it. Get a dirty bum. Right, that's it for me this week. I think I'm going to head back now. I just want to say thank you for following me this year. It's been quite a tough year, but it's been quite nice being out. I think it's one of those things, it's really good for your well-being, so it's probably been tough for everyone actually. So let's hope for 2024 to be a better year for everyone, and onwards and upwards and all that. If you haven't already, give me a like and subscribe, please do. I really appreciate it. It goes a long way. And if you haven't smashed that bell yet to get notifications of my next video, please do. And until next time, I'll see you later. Bye bye.